Good morning, everyone. It's Hayden Crawford here from the Dreamtime Academy, and today got a real special one for you today. I'm going to be revealing the secrets of how to manifest abundance and prosperity through the use of alchemy. Now, alchemy, as we know, is the process of turning base metal into gold. It's turning, value out of something that is invaluable or not valuable. So how do we do this? And there's lots of different theories to manifesting abundance, isn't there? Like, we've heard all about the law of attraction, which, works sometimes, but only if we have our subconscious and conscious minds in alignment with each other. But are there other ways to do it as well? Maybe using some magic, and that's magic with a CK, and maybe some vibrational remedies, maybe some color as well. How do we do it? Well, I've been through a process myself with this over the last few years, and believe me, I've been on both sort of ends of the spectrum. So finding that nothing was working to generate abundance in whatever form that takes, whether that's financial or just a feeling of happiness and fulfillment, and actually, I've been through both spectrums, really, and I've found certain things work and certain things don't work. So I'm going to be talking to you about the things that work and what I've used to be able to help me expand my business, but also to be able to help you understand, sort of a little bit more about how a lot of it actually comes back to self-love. Now, the color pink in color therapy is all about self-love, and actually, it's when we have that sense of deep self-acceptance and self-worth that we start actually noticing a massive shift taking place within our soul-based businesses, for example. But also the color of alchemy is gold. So, if I'm going to show you what they look like. Good morning to Christina, Ashley, and Ma. Got you three in first up. There you are. And Raphael's here as well. Nice to see you, Raphael. How are you today? So, yeah, we've got the color of alchemy, which is metal in the color mirrors system. Now, metal is gold in color mirrors, and it's because it's actually what happens to base metal when you alchemize it. When you turn base metal into gold, it becomes gold. So this is why metal, which is one of the elements in the color mirror system, is gold. And also the pink angel as well. Pink in color therapy is about self-love and bringing that in to your auric system, into your subtle bodies and things like that. So when we bring a lot of pink into our lives, it actually helps us to align with that, because money and love are actually on the same vibration. So actually we're going to use gold and pink essences, and also sort of crystals as well. So rose quartz and citrine as well. They're both really beneficial for manifesting abundance as well. Plus, I'm going to be revealing a little bit more about what I use with some other forms of magic to be able to attract prosperity and abundance. This is one of the seals of Solomon. This is the first pentacle of Jupiter, and this is a talisman for acquiring treasure and for gaining business. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit more about how I use the magic seals of Solomon to be able to attract prosperity and abundance into my life, and also through affirmations and it's setting intentions, visualizations, all the normal law of attraction types of things. But we can actually give it a bit of a rocket boost with some of these other techniques that I'm going to be sharing with you today. So, that's very sweet. So Ashley says, we love you. Well, that's very, very nice. Well, make sure that you like the video then if you're loving it. That's awesome. Yay. Can't wait to hear more. Well, look, I'm just sharing what's worked for me. And as I said to you before, I've kind of been on both ends of the spectrum with this. So, I've been in a place where nothing has worked, as well as a place where I've been attracting, over $30,000 a month, with manifesting, So, and actually, there's a few things that we have to be bearing in mind. Good morning, Haley. How are you? So I'm going to reveal 12 magical methods to manifest more love and money using some of these. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit of metal around me. So this is the remedy that I would recommend thoroughly if you're looking at manifesting prosperity and abundance, because it helps to start that process of alchemy. Okay, that turning base metal into gold. So there is so much talk these days, isn't there, about manifesting abundance and the law of attraction. And sometimes it can drive you balmy, kind of, when you see other people effortlessly attracting abundance and prosperity, but you actually feel like you're missing out on a vital piece of the puzzle. And that's because, you know, your circumstances and their circumstances are completely different. And, you know, you find that yours aren't changing. So, you know, I've been through all of this myself, you know, so it's, you know, and actually they are self-imposed barriers, a lot of them. So what we have to do is we really have to look at fighting, you know, the current with this, and really overcoming our scarcity beliefs, because a lot of it is down to our beliefs. Do we feel valuable? Do we, you know, do we feel like we are worthy of, you know, X, Y, or Z, or whatever your goals and dreams are? So number one really is to do daily affirmations. So affirmations work really well, and I know we covered this a little bit on one of the previous sessions, where there's an affirmation that I use which really helps me to get into the right vibrational alignment with money, for example. And that's, I love money. I use it wisely, constructively, and judiciously. Money is constantly circulating in my life. I release it with joy, and it returns to me in an avalanche of abundance. I use money for good purposes only, and I am grateful for the good that it provides me. Okay, so that's a really positive way of being able to affirm the benefits of money, or whatever it is that you're trying to attract, you know, in a very, very positive sort of present moment awareness. Okay, because it's almost got to be set in like as if it's already happened. So you don't want to see it in the future. You've got to imagine the feelings of what it feels like to have it already. So daily affirmations are really good, you know. So if you want more love and money in your life, I can't highlight enough how important positive daily vocal vibrations are of being able to attract the life of your dreams. Okay, so really we have to start our best practice off, so we've got to do that. So an affirmation is a positive statement or a phrase which is spoken out loud to yourself to override outdated beliefs on subjects such as love and money. Okay, because, you know, sometimes it's love that you require, and it's not necessarily, you know, about cash. I mean, cash is a bit of an outdated paradigm now, and we're going to be seeing less and less of the importance of cash as we move into the new earth energies. But, you know, the two are intimately intertwined. So your love and money are completely directly, you know, as a result of each other. So the work really that we have to do is work on our self-worth and our self-love, because that is the shift that takes place. And once we feel that and we align to our divinity, everything else just kind of falls into place. It's such a subtle shift as well. It's not even anything that's major, but it takes a bit of time to kind of process that and to be able to get to that point. So hiya Arena, nice to see you. And I was in Bunbury over the weekend and spent a little time stargazing and contemplating what was out there. I looked up into the sky and asked for a sign if anything was out there, and straight away a shooting star right where I was looking actually shocked me how quickly it happened. Yeah, these things do happen, Haley. I was asking for some information during my dream time as well a couple of nights ago. And like I was aware of a presence within my dream time. There was a being of light that was around me. And I was like, it was something that was like, oh, wow, straight away it was there, you know, and it was like there was no getting away from it, really. It was just there. And, you know, so all we have to do is ask for evidence, ask for our own proof. And because of the way time is, really, because it's not linear, things will instantly manifest for you and things like that. So that's a really great example of setting an intention, asking and receiving, you see. So that's another part of really the creation of abundance and prosperity. is is to set intentions. So we can also create a dream board as well. So I don't know if any of you have ever done that before, but a dream board is a imperative to clarify your vision if you want to consciously create more love and money. So constructing a personalized vision board or a dream board will kickstart the manifestation process for you. And you've got to be as specific as you can when you're doing this. So, don't just say, oh, I want a new house, and then, just leave it at that. You've got to really go into detail, so use the powers of your imagination to visualize exactly what you want. Is it a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 5-bedroom house? What does it look like on the outside? Has it got curb appeal? Whereabouts is it? Is it flat roofed, or has it got a pitched roof? What's it built out of, stone or brick? Just be really specific as to what you want. Find an image of that on the internet and pop it on your dream board. It's, a really great way of being able to fine tune what you want, because remember, the universe doesn't recognize the difference between a castle or a button, because to it, they are the same size, because the universe is endlessly bountiful and it goes on forever and ever. So really, there is no difference in size to the universe of those things. Yeah, fantastic. It was so good to hear that, Hayley. Now, you've got to also, the key here is to genuinely believe that you can have those items without doubt. Okay, because doubt actually creates a barrier and can prevent you from achieving your goals as well. So doubt is like the killer of dreams. It's like the cock block of emotions. All right. So really, what we've got to do is we've got to, when we put these requests out, cosmic ordering, whatever you want to call it, when we put these requests out to the universe or the beings of light or your highest and brightest angels and guides, we've got to actually believe that it's already happened. Because if we always keep it in the future, like, oh, one day I want to have X, Y, and Z, it'll always be one day in the future. Well, you won't bring it into your now moment. So you've got to feel as if you have it already. And that's really the key. It's about using your powers of feeling rather than thinking, because thinking, it's very difficult to control the amount of thoughts that we have in our head because we've got so many of them going around. But it's a lot easier to be able to, harness the powers of feeling and uplift our feelings to a better feeling state. And when we're in that state of love, that's when we become like a magnet to prosperity and abundance. So we've got to exist in a state of love, and starting with self-love. So P. Palmer Paints is here. Nice butterflies and hearts. Thank you very much for those. That's lovely. So dream board. Now, have you guys got a dream board? Do you actually have a dream board or not? Because if you haven't, it might be the chance or the opportunity for you to actually start putting, sort of images onto a cork board and just get that process going, because we've got to take these images out of our mind and we've got to be able to put them out into, sort of our reality as well. So we want to make them almost like physical by putting them out as images on photographs or visions or whatever it is that we want to pop onto our boards. So Alexandra, nice to see you. Hope you're well. Hi from Argentina. Beautiful. And what a gorgeous birthday you've got. The 22nd of the 12th as the 17th of August. Excellent. You've got one, have you, Alexandra? Brilliant. Good for you. I'm not doing numerology readings today. We're talking about the keys to manifesting abundance using alchemy today. And I'm going through some things that I've used that work for me and have worked for me and continue to work for me. And, it's an important part of your journey, I think, as a starseed, because we don't want to just drift around in the ethers. Our work might be to uplift humanity, but it doesn't mean to say we have to detach ourselves from all of those things that our hearts desire. And actually, when you look at abundance, really, it always comes back to self-love. And that is the work of the starseeds, as well as is not only learning to love yourself unconditionally and accept yourself as divine, but also help other people to do the same thing. So it is a huge part. It's today's date, the 18th, the 22nd of the 12th, the 17th of August. It's the 18th of August here. There you go. So Haley says, I have a list of things stuck on my mirror on a post-it note and think of my dream house in detail daily. Brilliant. I love that. Sandy says, I think the universe is nudging me to make a dream board. You are the second person to mention one to me this morning. Well, there you go, Sandy. That's how it happens. You know, instant feedback. It is a crazy world. There you go. Christina says, yes, it's super powerful. Yeah, it is. So dream boards are, you know, are one of those things that we really have to get quite familiar with. And I keep updating it as well. So you need to put it in a place in your house that is, you know, prominent, so not hidden away. So you can look at it every day. And when you look at it, it's got to make you feel good. Because if you look at it and you go, oh, I'll never get that, you're pushing it further away because you're going into doubt. So you've got to actually believe the things that you put on your dream board. Okay, because if you doubt it, it will prevent them from happening. So remember, when you're manifesting money, you have to be specific with the amounts that you require. Okay, and so it's like you require the money for, okay, and you're not using it for bad purposes. So you're not using it to try and manipulate anyone. So you can say, hi universe, I would like to request the sum of $30,000 to come to me easily, effortlessly, and very, very quickly with no harm to myself or anybody else. And I would like to use this for a deposit on a house or a brand new car, or I'd like to use it to be able to inject into my business so that I can expand my business. You might need it for, you know, something within your life that is going to help you to help others, you know, and that's when you know, it's sort of, it comes without an agenda, like a hidden agenda. Yeah. So hi, Tabitha. It's nice to see you. How are you today? Excellent. All right. So then we're going to look at the letter to the universe. So number 3 is, you know, write a letter to the universe. So this technique is so simple, and yet it's really, really effective as well. So you're literally handing over your control to the universal manager. So what I do is I go, dear universe, I would like to ask for X, Y, and Z, you know, and I actually write these things down in quite a lot of detail. So, you know, you might want to start your letter like, dear universe, I'd like to ask for the sum of $10,000 to come to me easily, effortlessly, and very, very quickly without any harm to myself or anyone else. You might decide to put a rough time period on that as well for it to show up. Just a rough one. Don't be too specific, because if you're too specific and then it doesn't happen, what you're doing is you're pushing it further away. All right, because you're going to doubt. So, you know, give it like a 6-month or something that you feel is attainable for you. All right. And then if it happens quicker, then even better. So don't be too specific. Once you've asked that your desire already exists on some level, remember it exists in escrow. So this is what, you know, sort of Esther Hicks calls, you know, escrow is like once you've launched a rocket of desire, it already exists on some dimensional frequency. And all you have to do is come into alignment with it by feeling good and not worrying about it or thinking about it all the time. Just know that once you've asked, it exists, and then all you have to do is feel good to go into vibrational alignment with it. So the only way that we come out of vibrational alignment with what we want to manifest, you know, is by doubting. All right, that's how we are not feeling good and questioning, where is it, looking around for it, for proof and evidence. No, just know that it's done. It's done. It's done. It's done, and it will appear magically when you're existing in joy. So that really is the dominant intention, is to look for things that make you feel good. So during meditation, ask your heavenly helpers to reveal your pathway to prosperity. Okay, so you can do that, you know, whilst you're in alpha brainwave state. So when you're in a meditation, you become a lot more receptive to be able to communicate with your highest and brightest angels and guides. There you go. So Dina says, everything career wise I've vision boarded and has come true usually takes 2 to 5 years. Yeah, it's interesting you should say that. You know, a lot of these sort of bigger goals can take a lot longer to manifest, and that's why we can't get frustrated in the interim, because we do have that time lag that's there, because we still live in 3D stroke 4D, hopefully 5D, But you know, as we move more and more into 5D, things are going to start instantly well, they already are instantly manifesting. So it's not that time span is going to become less and less. Yeah. So Christine says, my celeb crush husband, Chris Evans, is still manifesting. There you go. So there you go. You see, that's what you can't do. You know, you can't, you know, project somebody else into your goals and dreams, all right, and expect them to love you. You know, it's really, you can't manipulate other people. So the external other, so you can never say that's who I want and that's what I'm going to visualize, because it might not be part of their agenda or their path. So Tabitha says, works so well. Thank you. I'm great. Hope everyone is well. Sending lots of love. I love Abraham Hicks. I used to use Archangel Ariel and Citrine Crystal and Pyrite. Yeah, absolutely. Citrine is a really good one. So I've got some citrine with me today. It's a really good one. You can put that in your prosperity corner of your house. And if you look up feng shui and then find out where you need to put your citrine, Christine, your citrine, put it into your prosperity corner of your house, and also rose quartz for self-love as well. And these are the colors, you know, of abundance. Remember, it's your gold and your pink energies together. They are your manifesting colors. So if you want more money, have a pink wallet or a pink purse and keep your money in that. It's really cool. And there you go, Christine. That's a cool little icon, a little gold blobby thing with a pink hat on and a little pink antenna thing coming out the top. Looks like a Teletubby. Yeah, so Chrissy says totally. Yeah, so you can't put somebody else into your dreams and goals and expect them to love you. That's an interesting one to remember. So yeah, once you know, you do ask your angels, remember you know that you've got free will, so they can't step in and help you unless you ask. All right, so that's key as well. So you've got to ask to be able to get the information, but they will literally move mountains. So for me, for example, I use Archangel Metatron. Helps me to understand how to work with universal energies, including how to instantly manifest, because Archangel Metatron, when you work with this, and Archangel Metatron's energy is magenta in color, so blending the physical and non-physical worlds of red and violet, then that instant manifestation is very possible. However, you can also call upon the coral angel of manifestation, and because the coral angel helps you to clear away any blocks to manifestation. All right, so Alexandra says, I love my angels. Good for you, Alexandra. Fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, and absolutely. I mean, they're always here to help and support you. You just got to remember to ask, okay? So yeah, so I use in the color mirror system, one of them is called the Coral Angel, and this is a beautiful coral color. It's like a red orange, but a pale red orange color, and that is perfect for being able to shift any blockages towards manifestation. Also expressing gratitude and appreciation. We can never underestimate the power of appreciation. Actually, appreciation is a higher vibration than gratitude, because gratitude almost comes out of a vibration that you've had to overcome struggle to be able to get to a place of, oh, I'm so grateful, you know, whereas appreciation is a lot higher vibration. So appreciation is like, you know, Esther Hicks talks about going on a rampage of appreciation. So that's like where you go out and you just, you know, start appreciating everything in your life, from, you know, the chair that you're sitting on, the house that you're in, the people that are around you, and, you know, the beautiful environment, the weather, and, you know, the food that you're eating, the water that you're able to drink. And when you start really going on a bit of you know, sort of like a cycle with this, you start feeling more and more things to be appreciative of. And it raises your vibration, you see, because appreciation and gratitude, the anatomy of the brain. So they have a biological, physiological effect on your physical matter. What do I think of sacred codes and number codes? Interesting you should say that, because I'm running a course this weekend in Perth, level 3 numerology, and we're looking at number codes and sacred and angel numbers and angel number sequences, the 333, 444, 555, 666, etc., etc. house numbers. We're looking at the relationship between numerology and astrology, the relationship between tarot and numerology, and also how to look at your soul colors as well. So it's going to be a jam-packed 5-hour session at a hotel in Perth, where we're covering off all of those things. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those number codes are definitely there to wake us up and to guide us into taking action for sure. So yeah, so say thank you to them as well, for everybody who's taught you anything in your life, with regards to money. And sometimes it might be that your mum and dad have to teach you what not to do. So you've got to almost go attached during meditation, connect with their higher self and your higher self, and have a conversation and say, look, thanks, mum and dad, for trying to teach me, what not to do with regards to my finances. Because a lot of the baby boomers, they were on that whole thing of buy now, pay never, that sort of thing. And of course, they all got into a lot of debt, a lot of them, or they took out far too much credit and got into a lot of debt. So, it's almost like you've got to say to them, look, you don't need to teach me this lesson anymore. I've learned that. And then you kind of help to set them free so they don't have to go through that vicious cycle anymore as well. So, yeah, so really, it's about focusing on, instead of focusing on what you don't have, focus on all of the amazing things that you do have. Because if you focus on lack and scarcity, you'll just create more of that. So, the people who have helped and supported you at this point, say thank you to them, so thank you, mum and dad. Thank the people that have supported you along the way. Look at your current financial situation and appreciate that, whatever state it's in. So if you've got lots of cash in the bank, say thank you for that, because it'll just attract more. If you've only got $5 in the bank, just say thank you for that, because just that mere act of saying thank you and appreciation will probably double that money instantly, So, be grateful for wherever you're at on your journey, and accept where you're at as well. Acceptance, is almost key for change as well. And just know that money was there to support you in the past, and you're now ready to resolve the issue as well. So whatever issue you've got with it, just know that whatever process you've been through, you're ready to release that, and you're ready to change those patterns and move onto other things. So hello, Paula. It's nice to see you. Paula Antonu's here. Great to see you here today. Okay, so also valuing yourself. So my next point is value yourself. Okay, so the golden rule number 1 is to value yourself. And we bring the metal elemental into the session again today, because gold is about value. That's how we measure value. It's gold, your golden I am presence. This is where, your solar plexus accepts, brings a bit of pink love into your power, becomes authentic power. You start valuing yourself. So if you don't, how can you expect anyone else to? Hey, it's all right, Alexandra. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. So really it is about, know that you're an incredible and unique expression of divine light, and you're just as important as everybody else. Nobody is more important than anybody. We're all exactly the same. Just some of us value ourselves more. So the key difference between somebody who is prosperous and abundant and somebody who isn't is the person who's usually prosperous and abundant values themselves, and they've probably grown up being told that they're amazing, whereas the person that doesn't is probably being told that they're worthless, the shit. They'll never amount to anything. Only in very rare cases you get those people that go, right, screw you, and they go off and prove everyone wrong. But it becomes an embedded pattern within your subconscious. And of course, if your subconscious mind thinks that you're crap, but your conscious mind is in a state of flux and is starting to believe that it's not, the subconscious mind is still going to win. So really that's why the self-love and self-acceptance has to come from a very deep subconscious state, as well as a conscious awareness shift as well. So make a conscious decision to love and accept yourself from this day forward, and start noticing characteristics that are remarkable about you. Okay, so what is it that's unique about you? What is it? You know what? Start writing a list about it. Like for me, for example, what do I love about me? Well, I love the fact that I am, you know, I'm a genuine person. I genuinely care about other people. You know, I love to give, but I also love to receive. I am, you know, I'm extremely intuitive. I'm sensitive enough to understand how people are feeling. So I know how to communicate properly. I know how to teach. I know a lot about metaphysics, and I understand how the universe works. I understand the language of light, and I'm a highly experienced color therapist, numerologist, energy worker. I'm also I really value my relationships with all of my family and my husband and my friends. You know, so it's like that's how we start. We've got to value ourselves, and we've just got to start reminding ourselves of all of the things that are unique about us. Okay. And of course, not compare ourselves to other people, because we're all different expressions of the divine. We weren't born here to be like anyone else, and that's how you overcome that olive envy. You know, that shadow pattern, that subconscious saboteur that we spoke about in the session before a few weeks ago. You know, where a lot of the color coral came up, and coral is really about envy. And envy is when we look at somebody as being better than us, and we want to be like them instead of being like ourselves. Hello, Wandering Wanderer. Thank you for sharing this beautiful unconditional love and light. Sent information assistance. You're vital in helping us all ascend and bringing us up to manifesting heaven here on earth. Oh, thank you very much for saying that. Very sweet. There you go. I couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, you've got to love all the flaws. Yeah, so Mar says, I never thought about what I love about myself. Interesting. Do you know what, Mar? It's the key, really. It's about remembering all of the things that you love about yourself, because there is so much to love when you start digging deeper. But writing it down is really important. So just valuing yourself, remembering those incredible and unique things about yourself. Okay, and just make a conscious decision to love and accept yourself from this day forward, and start noticing characteristics that are remarkable about you. So the more you notice them, the more other people will notice those too. And remember that the world is a mirror. All right. So, you know, if you feel $1 million, then your outer world will reflect that as well. It is law. It's one of the universal laws. Okay. So if you feel $1 million, then your outer world will reflect that too. So how do you feel? Like if you had to put a value on how you feel about yourself, do you feel $1 million at this moment? Do you? Do you feel $1 million? Let's see if you can raise that energy up now to feel $1 million right now. Go on, just do it. Just imagine now that you feel like $1 million. Okay? $1 million. Just feel that. Feel that now. Feel it. You know, it is the truth. It's only your left brain, old patterns that say, oh, well, I'm not worth $1 million, you know, and it's all that sort of stuff. It's just rubbish. It's just a story, and it's not true. It's an illusionary story. So remember, you're no different to anybody else. You are worth much more than $1 million. $1 million is just like quite a small amount, actually, in this day and age, isn't it? You know, you need a lot more than $1 million to be. It's almost like, oh, you know, it's just pennies, isn't it? So the next thing we have to look at is unbreakable faith. So the next way that we can start manifesting prosperity and abundance is by harnessing unbreakable faith. And what I mean by this, you know, you've probably heard of the term ask, believe, receive. So it's part of the law of attraction, teaching the famous teachings from the famous Secret series. So if you haven't watched The Secret yet, do yourself a favor and watch it, because it's a really great way to start your journey into understanding the laws of attraction. So it's an important part of the manifestation process, because remember, doubt literally blocks your path to success. So when you start noticing that all that your heart's desire is coming to you, your faith will actually grow in size and strength as well. So once we've manifested one thing by, like Christina was saying about, creating her dream board, and then 2 to 5 years, she's always found herself in that space of attracting the things that she's wanted. Then your faith grows in size and you can start being a bit more daring, with the things that you ask for. So, it's about knowing before you know it, you'll be interacting in that balanced and nurturing relationship and driving a car that makes heads turn for the right reasons. So instead of because it's like backfiring as you're driving down the street and everyone's going, oh, what? Look at him in his Lada. It's like, oh, hey, look at him driving around in his lovely Jeep. You know what I mean? Because your faith has grown. You can do it. All you have to do is go back into that better feeling thought and really just, keep your eyes on the prize. It does feel good, Christina. That's right. So, the other thing that we've got to look at, number 8, is patterns and stories. So pay very close attention to both your inner dialogue and your outer spoken word as well. So we've got to start speaking impeccably about what we want and what we deserve and what we desire. So your inner dialogue and your outer dialogue are just as important. So if your outer dialogue is like, I have $350,000 in the bank, but your inner dialogue is going, I'm broke, I'm skint, oh, I can't afford to get that, then of course, then the subconscious mind's going to win, because it's kind of telling a different story to what you're saying. So both have to be aligned. Both minds, both dialogues have to be the same. So you can start by pretending. That's okay. So learn to speak a light language that originates from joy rather than pain and struggle. All right. And you'll notice the difference, because the people that are normally broke or skint, or struggling, are the ones that, constantly bang on about how, they can't afford to get that and that and that. And of course, because they're affirming it to themselves over and over and over and over again, they're getting more of that. Okay. So really it's learning to speak a lighter language that originates from joy. So perhaps you're still holding on to the beliefs and conditioning from your parents of not having enough money, or maybe you're feeling undeserving or guilty about receiving too much. Well, don't feel guilty about receiving too much, because remember, guilt is the biggest misunderstanding of all. When you feel guilty, it's implying that you aren't, you're somehow existing outside of the divine plan, and it's like, actually, no, because everything is divine. Everything is perfectly imperfect. So lose the guilt. You deserve everything. There's no, just if you have prosperity, doesn't mean to say that you're taking that away from somebody else, because the universe is endlessly bountiful, and all that your heart's desire must come to you. So you're not taking away from somebody else by you becoming prosperous and abundant. So really don't put that into your head, because that's just BS. We love one. Can you give us more information on Archangel Metatron's teachings about instant manifestation that you mentioned earlier? Yeah, I will. I'll definitely. I'll go into that, and I can actually create a separate video on that as well, because Archangel Metatron is the governing angel for the color mirrors system. We love one, and actually, if you think about Archangel Metatron, is probably one of the best angels to be able to kind of bring into, your sort of requesting and your asking, because, he existed on Earth as Enoch, so he was a human before he became an ascended master. So he knows what it's like to be a human. And Metatron, Metatron's cube, which is actually the Merkaba, is your Merkaba star, so it's your earthly chi and heavenly chi energy, and it's this Merkaba, the 6 3-pointed pyramid, one pointing upwards, one pointing down. So it's a star tetrahedron spinning anti-clockwise and clockwise, and it actually is your light body vehicle. So once that's activated through Archangel Metatron energy, so aligning that beautiful heavenly and earthly energy together, it's like you exist beyond the veil of illusion that we perceive as reality. So your vibration raises, and you align with an oversoul on the planet where heaven on earth already exists. And of course, you know, then all you have to do is just ask for what you want and remember to ask, and it just gets delivered to you. You know, so for example, you know, like I like at the beginning of the week, I always say, Archangel Metatron, I'd like you to help me to attract, and I give a sum of what I need to be able to generate. You know, I not necessarily need, but what I want to generate. So I'm not like, it's never out of a negative place. It's just like, okay, so, and it's almost like quite playful as well. So it's like, oh, I'll dream a bit bigger this week. And every week, you know, it always comes in exactly this, you know, well, not exactly in the way that I anticipate it, but it always comes in exact, you know, the sort of roundabout amount that I've asked for. So it's kind of like it's always pretty bang on, but you know, but you've got to dare to dream, really. So you've just got to like ask and know that once you've kind of projected yourself out of the fear paradigm of safety and security, and you know, and you exist in unwavering faith, and you can feel it already there within your vibrational body. Of course, then you know, the only thing that can happen is you get the proof of the existence of that. Because if you think about money as a thing, really, it's not even a physical thing anymore, because it's become more binary. It's more of a digital thing. It's more of a number now, because obviously we hardly ever get physical money, and it's going to die out anyway. But so really, it's just a matter of visualizing a money, an amount, and seeing it in your bank balance, you know. So it's like it becomes that easy, really. But it has to always, you know, be used for the purposeful good, and never for greed, because greed is the wrong vibration. So if you're wanting something just to accumulate something for no apparent reason, it's not going to help anyone, then, you know, of course, it might not necessarily have the right agenda or attachments to it. So you've got to make sure that, you know, it's going to be used for the purposeful good. And actually, you know, you've got to know what you want as well, because if you don't know what you want, you'll never get it, because you don't know what you want. So you've not got something to go for. So this is your patterns and stories as well. So remember, if you're still holding on to those beliefs, old beliefs and conditioning from your parents about feeling guilty, okay, so that guilt will keep it from manifesting, as well as doubt. So when you know you are a precious part of this planet, and that it is your birthright to experience a joyful, abundant and love-filled life, you will organically start creating a new story which does not repeat the old poverty habits of your predecessors. Okay, so that's the key. You know, remember that a lot of the time, what we're brought up believing is normally what we create, until we become a conscious creator of our own reality, and we start, you know, understanding that we are the one that's shaping our existence. So if your parents believed you've got to work hard for a living, doing something you don't want to do, that's probably what you'll end up doing yourself, until you realize that actually that's theirs, was never yours. So you've just got to look at your beliefs around it, and then let go of all the things that are no longer serving you anymore. Now, giving generously is number 9. Now, giving generosity is another stage of your ascension journey. Okay, so generosity leads to abundance, because whatever we give comes back to us tenfold, as long as we're giving with love and not with expectation of receiving. Okay, so that's another one that we've got to remember. So the more grateful you are, the more inclined you are to give to others, because you intrinsically know that your cup is always overflowing. So that's why I always know that you guys that give me donations for doing my lives, I know that you guys are in the flow, because when you give, you actually receive. So it's only when you hold on tightly to something because you don't believe that there is enough, that it almost creates that whole paradigm for you. So it's like that, just that whole feeling of giving is it uplifts you, and before you know it, something else happens to you during that day where you receive more and more and more and more back. It's almost like it's law. So generosity is another stage of the ascension process. And if we look at the culinary system, for example, and after we've kind of learned to speak impeccably, generosity is the next golden Gaia, which is coral. Okay, remember, coral clears our blocks to manifesting abundance over gold, pale gold, and that's your value. So when we give generously, we have like an evolution of spirit. So tithering is a really good thing to do, you know, giving to worthy causes. So yeah, so, you know, giving of your time and your wealth to another because you feel so utterly abundant that you just want others to feel the same feelings as you do. So the colors of generosity, as I mentioned, are pale gold and pale coral. And that's all about expanding your authentic power so that other people can experience it too. Okay. So that's why I give a lot. I give a lot of my time, you know, with no expectation of receiving. This is what I do. It's just what I like to do. It's like I like to share my wisdom because it's a way I can give back and engage and uplift, you know, because that's my purpose work. I know that's why what I'm here to do. So when we fall in alignment with that, it's almost like, you know, it doesn't matter that this hour that I spend 3 times a week with you guys isn't paying me anything, because I get that back tenfold from everywhere else, you know, and I don't need to know where it's going to come from because it just happens because it's a law. Do you see what I mean? So it's like looking at things very, very differently to maybe the way that you've been programmed or what's been going on for you. Hopefully I'm making sense. You've all gone a bit quiet. Have you all switched off? Have you all gone home? maybe you've all manifested like King Midas, and whatever you touch turns to gold. So the next thing is bathing in pink. All right, so bathe in pink. So what I mean by that is like love and money are on the same vibration. So your pink energy is a real key to manifesting prosperity. And this is the color frequency of, you know, of authentic, of unconditional love. So a direct repercussion of not having unconditional love in your life is often a lack of financial security. So by surrounding yourself in the color pink, you will start to change your point of attraction. Okay, does that make sense? So by wearing pink, you start to change your point of attraction. And one of the best methods is to bathe in this lovely color. So I always recommend, you know, like bottles like, I always like Venus, the Venus bottle, but this one's really good as well. C8 in the color mirror system, which is pink over rose pink. That's a beautiful one as well to bathe in. That's very good for, because it's an 8 as well, C8. And the 8, obviously, in numerology is about attracting abundance. That's why the Chinese loved the number 8 so much, because it brings in that. And it's a much higher vibration. A lot of people think red is the color for bringing abundance, but pink is just red that's infused with light. So it's a higher vibration than red. And it doesn't carry all of that sort of survival, safety, security stuff. You could also use colored oils, light emanations, clothing, or a beautiful rose quartz as well, like, you know, and have that on a bracelet. You could always wear a rose quartz bracelet. That would help. Just give it a go, and then you can start watching your fortunes changing. And then the citrine is the other one that you can use as well. And you can put that in the wealth corner of your home. Another one is to visualize. Okay, so visualization. We were given the powers of visualization in this lifetime, weren't we? So use it. Why not? Imagine yourself, you know, you've been, you know, gifted with this beautiful sensation, the power of being able to see almost like a movie screen in your mind's eye of yourself and the world around you. And we're going to need to use this power of visualization more and more and more in our lives if we want to create this new world, this new earth. And it's actually, you know, it's already started to happen because we've been asking for change as a collective for such a long time. But look what's happening on the earth. So, you know, why not use it? There's nothing in your life right now that didn't first exist in your mind's eye. So everything that you've got around you is first existed as a thought or a desire or a visualization. So, for example, like this whole room that I'm in, you know, with all the color mirrors that I've got, everything that I'm wearing, it all started first of all in my imagination, all of it, including myself. So you create yourself, you know, so it's like you are in the likeness of God, really. it can be hard to visualize sometimes, Ma. Yeah, you're right, it can. But you see, it's often when our minds are overly active and we're trying to do too many things that we don't have that quiet time. So sometimes just going into 15 minutes of quiet time, alone time a day, can start you to disconnect from the clutterbug mind, which is the noisy inner dialogue, you know, that's just trying to survive. And we kind of then move away from that. We can start to just stretch our imaginations a little bit. Often people who haven't got the number 3 in their numerology in their date of birth can struggle with visualizations, because the 3 is the memory, imagination, and analytical skills. So sometimes we have to rebalance by putting yellow energy in. Yellow is very good for helping to help us to visualize, because yellow helps to stimulate the left brain. So yeah, so there's nothing in your life right now that didn't exist first. So everything around you is a direct projection of a hope or a fear that was first conjured up in your thoughts. So remember, it's not always about what you've hoped for. Remember, sometimes not getting what you want is a wonderful stroke of luck. But also remember, sometimes if you fear something enough, then you can attract that in. But love is more powerful than fear. So usually the things that you love appear rather than the things that you fear. But if you fear chronically something, then, you know, you can end up projecting that vibration into your life. So an illusion of light vibrating at various frequencies appearing to you as a 3-dimensional reality is kind of what comes back to you. By keeping your visions aligned with joy and abundance, you will step into those projections effortlessly. So remember, you've got to be existing in joy. Yellow energy again. Joy is all about your I am presence. It's about your connection to divinity as well. Be very clear on what you want and what you're genuinely desiring, and then take inspired action to get there, because it's all very well and good just sitting there visualizing, but then if you're given inspirations for actions to participate in and you're not doing that, you're not following it up, then you're not meeting the universe halfway. You know, you're kind of just expecting the knight in shining armor to come along and to help you and just rescue you. Whereas actually you do have to take inspired action as well. So that's really, really important thing to remember. So be very clear on what you want, and then take that inspired action to get there. Remember that the universe does not recognize the difference between a prince and a pauper or a slum or a mansion. In the vastness of the eternal void of space, everything is as tiny and as easy to create. Okay, so if this is the truth, why limit yourself? Don't limit yourself. And then finally, we've got step into joy. Okay, so this is my final step to prosperity, manifesting prosperity and abundance through alchemy. Stepping into joy. Now, we're entering a very special time on the planet, as you already know, otherwise you wouldn't be here. The golden age of Aquarius, it's called. Now, we have chosen to, we've all chosen to evolve our physical bodies. So we're becoming light body vehicles fundamentally. So we're moving beyond the safety, security, survival, fear paradigm. And the ascension is fundamentally a process of choosing to step into joy. Yay! Hi, Maz. How are you? Nice to see you. There you go, Maz. Whereabouts are you from? So aligning with your authentic power and unconditional love, which are those two, your authentic power and your unconditional love, you can merge the two together. Okay, and it becomes coral, which is the color of the new Christ ray. All right, that is the color of the new Christ ray, which is not red anymore. It's not the blood and bandages anymore. It's like the new Christ ray. So it's the best way to do this is by making a conscious decision to look for things that make you feel good on a daily basis and not giving your attention to anything else. So stop focusing on the things that you don't like the look of. So stop watching the news. If it's making you feel bad, stop watching it. Once you reconnect your inner joy, you will emit that resonance like a ripple on a golden lake, uplifting everyone in your wake. And that is true prosperity. So really, fulfillment and prosperity are all about uplifting others. That's where you get that sense of upliftment from. So the work is to be an uplifter of humanity. Okay? That's what Christ consciousness is. And that's what it's all about. Helping others to feel the same way that you do. So it really is, you know, a very powerful way of doing. Now, you might remember that earlier on at the beginning, I mentioned that I also have been using the Seals of Solomon to be able to help with the creation of prosperity and abundance. And actually, since I started using my first Pentacle of Jupiter, I've noticed a huge transformation, you know, within the Dreamtime Academy. And what you have to do at the back, you've got to do like a little sacred ritual. So you've got to write your name, and then in the your name in the center, and then you write like a mantra around the side, unbroken. And these, you know, these come from King Solomon. Okay, King Solomon. So he was the father of King David. And of course, you know, it's the Star of David and all of that sort of stuff. So this is ancient stuff that draws upon the angels and guides. And I chose the first Pentacle of Jupiter because this is a really great one for being able to activate abundance and prosperity within businesses. And boy, these energies work, you know. So again, it's using symbology and, you know, energy and, you know, the angels and guides to be able to be able to do that. Okay, so yeah, you can basically, you can just go online, Mara, and just put in the Seals of Solomon, first Pentacle of Jupiter. You'll see like loads of images come up, and then all you have to do is just, what I did is I just printed one out and followed the process of activating it. And basically what I did is I anointed it as well with my Jupiter coral bottle in the color mirror system. So Jupiter, I basically used a bit of the Jupiter oils, because you've got to anoint the symbol as well with a sacred oil. And I thought, well, I'll use Jupiter because it's just so poignant. It's coral in color as well. And yeah, and then you just kind of then just sit back and kind of wait for the magic to take place. Yeah, do it, Ashley. It's super cool. Hello, Mercy Molina. How are you today? Nice to see you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been an absolute blessing to see you all. Remember, your pink angel and your metal elemental as well. Those two are powerful, powerful remedies for being able to help you through this process as well, activating prosperity and abundance. Okay, so make sure you use those. If you want one of those, then I do ship them globally as well. So if you want one, just message me at hayden@haydencrawford.com, and I can get one out in the post to you. They are obviously, they're available on my website, but if you are in the States, you will need to email me if you want one. Okay, and I'll work out the shipping and the postal costs for you, and then I can get it out to you in the post. So I'll give you my email address here if you'd like to use the essence sprays or the oils to help you with the manifestation of abundance as well. They are a little bit of an investment, because they are $60 Australian plus your postage and packing, but they work. So it's like anything in life, you get what you pay for. You buy cheap, you buy twice, and all the rest of it, isn't it? So any questions? Any questions, guys? Like, has anyone got any questions for me? Anything from, you know, that today that's brought up anything for you? Can anyone see or feel where they may be limited in their own growth? Can you maybe there's something that's come up for you that you think, I need to work on that, or that you haven't been doing? Or was there any insights that I gave you today that made you a bit more hopefully optimistic about, you know, your ability as a powerful manifestation magician? So leave a few comments and let me know what you thought of that. Yeah, so there you go. So we've had a good session today. We've almost been going for an hour, which is awesome news. Any questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace. I'm just about to go into a consultation with my client now, so I'll be disappearing off. Remember, I'm back on Thursday Western Standard Time for the numerology and color insights as well. So I'll be doing some free insights on your birth chart and your name chart as well, and looking at, you know, your soul purpose and direction, the best times for you to embark on new projects and ventures, etc., etc. So Ashley says, I feel like some past life memories are holding you back. Well, we can work on that in your session on Thursday, Ashley, if you like. We can look at that. There you go. Sometimes it can be. Sometimes it can be past life stuff for sure. You know, especially if you, you know, if you were manifested at the time of the Cathars, which were a group of you know, beautiful beings who found the secrets to becoming alchemists, and then were persecuted by the army and the Pope at the time. They existed in the I think it was 16th century. They were basically persecuted and killed for finding their authentic power. And if you've had a past life as an alchemist, as a Cathar, then that can cause definite issues with the flow of abundance and prosperity. Excellent. All right, guys, I'm going to love you and leave you. Have a brilliant day. Bye for now.